The Leo and Danny show.
But yeah, man, those were the days. Those dorm rooms, man, I had lots of fun. But also, did you experience this too? When you got that reputation, girls would then hit you up in secret and be like, "Don't you dare tell anybody about this too." I had that happen a lot.
Yeah, there were a couple girls, notably my first girlfriend, my first love's friends. I in secret banged a couple of them. After her and I broke up, I was fucking devastated. She dumped me, so it felt good to me to try to get my revenge.
Oh, that's the best. Even bang the friends after, if you can.
Yeah, it was one of her friends who was in her sorority sucked my dick in the library of my frat. Great fucking blowjob.
Wow.
But she was so drunk, and I was drunk too. She she got locked into the library for some reason, and I was super drunk, nodding in and out of consciousness on the couch, and she couldn't figure out how to open the door, and she ended up pissing herself a little bit.
Oh my God.
I remember that. And another girl I banged, she went to a date party with my fraternity and had another dude as her date. And I had another girl as my date, this girl on the swim team who was hot too. But I sensed that the girl who was friends with my ex-girlfriend wanted to bang, and I wanted to drive that dagger into the heart of my ex.
Oh, hell yeah.
Even though she never found out and was already blowing her ex. And so I had no fucking shot of reclaiming my former lover. So I go sit next to the girl I had my eye on the bus. I'm like, "Hey, you meet me in the Beta Theta Pi library at 3 a.m.?
Wow.
Let's do something. Let's make something happen."
Well, you could time your hookups that well. Like at 3 a.m., you knew you weren't going to be passed out by then.
I was a professional, Liam.
Yeah, you're a professional.
If I had to go do some push-ups and drink a bottle of Aquafina, I would do it.
Wow.
But so she bids her date adieu. He was a pipsqueak. He was no threat. I tell my girl, and it was complete lies, but she was head over heels for me, so she didn't question anything. I said, "Baby, I really got to study tomorrow. I'm sorry." I'm telling her this with like one eye open, shit-faced. Obviously, something's up if I didn't immediately take her to my bunk to fuck. This girl was super cool. This girl, I probably could have married the swimmer girl.
Wow.
Quality woman. But I walk her back up to her dorms, not a single complaint.
You know how fast
she's
she must
married
have been
now?
Yeah, I'm sure, because she must have been lightning fast in the water to be swimming at UCLA.
She was jacked.
Yeah, I bet.
She had a great fucking body.
Wow.
But take her back up. 3 a.m. rolls around. I'm down in the library. I put my penis in a pussy, Leo.
Oh, you did. No condom?
No condom.
No condom.
Very,
Good.
very brief. And nobody knew about it for a long time, but that was my one little kernel of mental victory over the girl who destroyed me. I remember that breakup, Leo. The entire summer, because she broke up with me in early June or something like that, the entire summer, not one day passed where I wasn't in agony.
Fuck.
And I would listen to records, and it'd be like a rock and roll record, and it'd be like a fucking Incubus song or like Metallica, and I'd fantasize about being the guitarist, and I'll be like, man, if only I was a fucking rock star and she was in the crowd, I would get her back in a second. Just these ridiculous fantasies about winning her over, or getting like interviewed on Conan O'Brien, and it hurt for the entire next fall, winter. I remember that spring, I saw her at a campus, at a concert at UCLA. Of course, I wasn't performing rock guitar at that concert. I was in the crowd with all the other doofuses. I saw her, and it felt like Cupid had shot his arrow into my throat all over again. We went and spoke for a little bit, and I would have given up everything to be with her again right there. This girl fucked me up bad.
Listen, and this brings a good learning point for you guys that are that age. How old were you when that happened?
22.
22, and I also experienced similar things. When you fall for a girl when you're 22, you know, when you're in college, you fall for them hard. I don't know what it is.
It was my first girlfriend.
Just first girlfriend. I remember my first girlfriend, dude. I remember when we broke up, dude, cried for days, man. All of us experienced it. Don't feel ashamed of this.
I cried my fucking eyes out. One night in particular. I went to the sculpture garden at UCLA.
It's a nice
so it was
place.
Far away from everybody. Just let the tears flow down.
That's what you got to do, man. It's also good for you. It's good for your growth. Remember that when you're going through that, it becomes a blessing, because none of the girls that you break up with when you're that age ever do you ever regret breaking up with later on.
Nope.
I can tell you this, and you're not. You don't regret it.
No, I do not regret it at all. I'm agreeing with you. It sounded like I was shutting you down. Totally agreeing with you.
No, he's great, because it's true. And this is the thing. And you're not going to believe me, but when you're going through that breakup in your youth, and you're fucking heartbroken, you will look back on that relationship one day and be like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yep.
Relax whenever this happens. Just look at it like a blessing, because you don't want to get married too young is really the way to get to the fastest way to a divorce.
Yep.
So just chill. There's another girl coming. Work on yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Let's talk a little bit about because I know if you would have told me that, Leo, at the time, I would have been like, no, Leo,
right,
you don't understand. She's the one. I actually just talked about it in a Patreon video. I gave the entire story of this girl that I posted like last week. And when I first saw her, I actually visibly saw a halo of light around her body and heard a spontaneous humming in my ears. It was the closest I've ever been to love at first sight.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that because I thought about it all the time before her and I actually hung out.
Wow.
So I would think about her later when I was in my classes and at parties, even though I hadn't met and started dating her yet.
Right.
And I've never felt that ever again. The bassist of the Rolling Stones said when he saw his first, or one of his wives, he felt like he got whacked on the head with a hammer all of a sudden.
Man.
And that girl was 14 when he first saw her, so it's not a good example to follow.
Mm-hmm.
But for that reason, it felt like it was like predestination from like the fucking gods. Like, and so I would not have believed you when you told me that it wasn't meant to be. And I feel like a lot of the audience members right now, maybe not a lot, maybe a handful.
I get DMs about this all the time. So I know a lot of these kids are getting their heartbroken.
I do cameos about it too.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to do now is I want to tell Leo, and I want Leo to tell me why, in retrospect, those first girls would have been disasters, because he's totally right. If I was still dating this girl right now, I would want to be removed from the situation. It'd be such a horrible match.
This is why. When you're fresh out of high school, you're in college, you have no idea who the fuck you are. I'm 34 years old now. I still don't 100% know who I am. Danny's coming to it. He's coming to his own now. He hit 30 recently, and now he's really the most confident that he's not going downhill. He's probably the most confident he's ever been. Probably even the most handsome he's ever been, because he's putting out that confidence, and he's 30 years old. Do you think at 22 you might have been confident for different reasons, still didn't know who he was? You changed so much from those early 20s to when you're 30 that there is just no way to know if you two are going to be matched up for the rest of your life. There is no way. You got to find out who you are. The reason why back in the day used to work out a little bit better is because people would choose a life way earlier than we do nowadays. And they knew what they wanted earlier. Nowadays, you got to find yourself before you know.
Leo's totally right. And also, they were going to physically die by 30.
Yeah, exactly.
So they had to start pumping out some kids by 14.
Right.
Those plows aren't going to push themselves.
That's another thing, yeah. They needed workers in the farm, you know? So, listen, take it easy and focus on yourself. If you do that, you can use the pain for the greater good, which is to get jacked. Honestly, the best thing about breakups is how fast you get jacked right after. And fuck this dog, dude. This incel
He's
of a dog.
fucking up your speech.
Yeah,
he is an incel. Guaranteed.
He's an incel.
He's not. All the other female dogs in the neighborhood hear that piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
that's the equivalent of being a pizza driver with a beer belly. Is having a cry like that.
Nobody fucks with that dog, dude.
Nobody.
That is the fucking. Dog. That is the Newman from Seinfeld of the fucking neighborhood. Yep. No one's giving that guy pussy. If you start dating a girl and you find out that back in high school she dated that little fucking dog, yeah. It's over, dude. Over. It's over with that girl.
No, you're right, Leo. And it was probably something about that breakup that made me realize I wanted to do something in the arts.
There we go.
I was walking around after the breakup. This is more embarrassing trivia from inside of Danny's head. The album I was listening to that was really helping me get over it was The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I still like that fucking record. I'm not embarrassed. Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Guys. Do you think that's why they write about breakups and they write songs about breakups? Because they know that it just, I don't know, it imprints in your mind when you use a song. I use Dr. Dre. Forget about Dre, dude. Because he talks about how that helped me get over a breakup one time. You just remember it for the rest of your life. It's crazy.
Everybody writes songs about breakups. The Beatles wrote them the first fucking 5 years of their career. It was all just love songs and breakup songs. You have to do it artfully. If it's just clearly an attempt to get on top 40 radio, that obviously isn't going to connect with me at all. But My Chemical Romance is probably pretty underrated critically. They wove in a bunch of metaphor and overarching story across the album. And the song I was listening to was Famous Last Word. I think it was about his brother wanting to leave the band. But that fucking song, I would listen to it on repeat after I got dumped because it made me feel better. And I thought, like, fuck, dude, I want to be a lawyer right now. I'm never going to do anything as substantial as create this song I'm listening to. This song is helping me keep putting one foot in front of the other and getting to my classes, getting to the gym, putting food in my mouth when I'm experiencing this horrible breakup. I'm not going to do anything this beneficial to the world if I keep going down my current path. That's right. And that was one of the seeds that ended up growing the Danny Mullen comedy tree. Mm-hmm. Another was Breeding Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Another was an epiphany I had in Tahoe. Mm-hmm. That was a big formative event, though.
Wow.
I don't remember what our original point was, but